Police had said earlier that the shooter had been found and contained. Here's a doctor at a hospital treating some of those injured in the violence.
We've received 3 patients, 2 adults and 1 person under 18 years of age. I know that 1 adult, and you said that it was a male, is in our operating room undergoing surgery at this time. 1 patient has been admitted to the hospital. I think that was the person under 18, and the other person is in our emergency room being evaluated and treated.
Well, for more, let's cross to our Washington correspondent, Philip Crowther. Hello, thank you for being with us. What's the latest on this?
Well, in the words of the US President Donald Trump in a tweet sent earlier, it's not looking good, and indeed it is not, because local news media are now reporting that there were at least 8 killed in this high school shooting in Santa Fe. Santa Fe is a city around 35 miles south of the city of Houston in the state of Texas. Again, another high school shooting, and it must be said, we've done this before, we've talked about these before, most recently earlier this year with the shooting in Parkland in Florida, where 17 people were killed. We have this experience that the death toll tends to go up after first reports, so things are really not looking good in this high school shooting in Texas. Those reports, again, of 8 killed altogether at this point. We don't know whether these are students or teachers. We don't know who the culprit is. We do know, though, that he or she has been stopped by local law enforcement. For the rest of it, you're going to see images, and seeing them right now, that are pretty much similar to what we've seen so many times in the United States over the last, few months and indeed decades even. Children being led out of the school to safety as much as is possible. And of course, big police operations underway there and SWAT teams there as well, trying to get the situation under control. This happened early in the morning, local time at 7:45 a.m. when students were already in their classrooms, or at the very least on their way into those classrooms. Again, quite a lot still needs to be verified, and we don't have an official update from local law enforcement yet, but local media do report that at least 8 were killed in the shooting.
So are we going to see the same old political divide on how to handle this type of violence now? Or might there be a difference after that grassroots student movement that the Parkland attack created?
Yeah, it's an important movement, that one, but it doesn't mean necessarily that the debate will be any different, because the two sides have created an impasse that is worse than it has been over the last few years. What you're essentially seeing from the left side of the aisle, essentially, and from those young students from Parkland, but also across the country, is that stricter gun laws are necessary in the United States for someone like this shooter. We don't know who this is, not to have access to a gun or guns. Again, we don't know how many might have been used in this country. On the other side of the aisle, though, you have a Republican Party led by the President, Donald Trump, who don't want to see stricter gun laws in this country. Instead, they will most likely be advocating for stricter safety in schools. Now, that includes armed teachers, for example, an idea that was floated by the US President Donald Trump and that will presumably be taken up again by him. We're not yet at that point of debate. This is, again, something that we've covered so many times, and we see so many times here in the United States, that we know that over the next few hours, what we will be seeing is updates on the death toll in this school, official death tolls from local law enforcement, then first political reactions, and then a few hours later, at the very latest, a day or so later, you will see the usual political divide materialize in front of our eyes. Essentially, the left calling for more gun safety and the right calling for more safety in schools. Those are two points of view that can't really be put together right now.
Philip Crowther reporting there from Washington. Thank you very much for that update.